No. If you were like, you know what, I want to do it, then the problem is, one, your insurance right now wouldn't cover it. So let's say you're like, I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna go. I would send you to somebody who all they do is component separation. There's there's nuance to that. Uh, I've done it when I've needed to do it, but I'm talking somebody whose practice is essentially everyone that comes in has
That's
had
all.
3 prior repairs. They're all like this, and that's the person, because that's how hard you are. You get one shot.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's worth it.
I would tell you right now, seeing your posts and seeing your life, it's not.
Okay.
Yep. I can tell you, so this was probably a year ago, multiple operations, different things. They came in, I had to operate. It was a dead piece of small bowel, so it's contaminated. Took it out, separated it, and then I was looking at this and I'm like, I have to do the complete opposite of everything I learned here. Instead of trying to repair these holes, I just have to make the Swiss cheese one. There's going to be a hernia, but that's just going to come in and out.
Side
It's
effect.
not going to kill another piece of bowel, and that's what I did.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so another question.
Yeah.
That you're referring to the bowel dying. So is that a possibility happening without the hernia?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. People get just adhesive, and they cut off the blood supply. Oh, yes.
Okay.
The probably you're less likely. So, for example, these are the things I've seen over the years. There are people that I could cut their belly open and have them hang, and nothing happens. If I did that to
Wow.
I'm probably
Koya,
one of
everything drops because it's free.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming.
That's lovely.
It just drops out, literally, like the bowel just, and it's hanging. You go like this, it is glued to you.
Okay.
So, on the one hand, yes, it's a mess to try to get in there, but on the other, you don't have the typical, like, oh, I'm going to kink today. You don't have that kind of movement. You're stuck in the glue.
Okay.
So, on the one hand, I think that's why. So, let me tell you, we had these long tubes. This has been a scourge for forever with surgery. They had long tubes. They would put it all the way down, and it was supposed to keep the bowel
Free.
glued like that, and then you'd pull the tube. And you're like, okay, it was in there for 2 weeks, it'll stay like that. It just doesn't.
Oh.
The areas you want adhesed don't, and the areas you don't want moving do. And so I think in your kind of belly, it's stuck where it's been, which is great. Like, for example, remember we were like, look, we're going to give this time now. I can't just keep going. And you got lucky, wherever it unstuck, it then planted itself there, and it's been a couple years like that. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I
Yeah.
do.
That's how I see you. I see you as totally like lucky. It's been great.
Okay. Knock on wood.
I'm telling
So
you.
there have been a couple instances where I was just
Bloated?
bloated, constipated, couldn't poop, couldn't pass gas.
So I never know from that. You know, you and me, we have a colon. If we are not hydrating and the right foods, yeah, sometimes it gets like that. But with your belly, when I hear that, I think small bowel. So I would look back, because if we were to be able to go with a scope, you would see areas where the diameters, oh, that's good caliber. Then it has to go around this corner, and guess what? It's not malleable like normal bowel because it's hitting the adhesion here. So it hits a wall and it's a little narrow. And that's why, I mean, you haven't probably, I see your meals when you post them, and I'm like, things have got to be open, you know? But if you were to, you're just not hydrating, you're photographing, you didn't bring water, and then you didn't think about how much fiber was in the meal, it can catch up with you in the small bowel, like sludge.
Okay.
It still has to make it through,
Okay.
12, 14 feet of small bowel.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm seeing an acupuncturist, and they prescribe Chinese medicine to help And
Well,
I
so can I tell you what helps beautifully, at least in me?
Sure.
And it helps my cramps. I get these weird adductor cramps when I bike. It has some way that I put out my magnesium.
oh
So
okay.
I take 250, 500, 2 to 3 times a day. More than that, I get diarrhea.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's perfect for helping me. Just stay right there. I mean, I eat a lot of fiber and whatever, but you have to watch that. And so magnesium's an easy thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously there's the prune juice and prunes and Senecod and all of that.
Prune juice in the hospital. Getting some prune juice.
Yeah,
getting some prune
I
juice.
love it. I push it.
My mom too. So I.
Every time I see somebody, I pick it up because it looks almost, I'm like, grape juice. This could be so much better with prunes.
Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
So get out there, keep doing what you're doing. Now you know the signs and symptoms of the rare problem. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good